What's going on, boys and girls? And welcome to the 94th edition of the Chronicles of Podcast. And Jamie, I do believe, thinking about it, let me think about it. Give me some time. Give me some time! Stop talking. I'm trying to think. Oh, it's the Chronicles of Depravation Festival.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing. And we're joined by Martin Camp, is that correct?
That is 100% correct.
Lovely. Perfect. Then we might as well get started.
Hi there! You're about to enjoy the Chronicles of Tom and Jeannie.
Hi everyone, I'm Kevin Mann.
Hi guys, my name's Annabelle Knight and
hello, this is Becky Baldwin.
Hello, I'm Chesney.
Hey, what's up everyone? This is Braden from Say We Can Fly.
My name's Martin. I'm the organiser and promoter of the Deprevation Festival, and you're listening to, or watching even, the Chronicles of Podcast.
Right, what I'll do is I'll lie and say that all these people are coming.
Ladies and gents, put it together as we welcome you to the Chronicles of the Deprevation Festival with its organiser, Martin Camp.
But I think that we need to bring in that piece.
I think we definitely do.
Welcome to the Chronicles of the Deprevation Festival with Martin Camp.
This week we are joined by Martin Camp, the organiser of the Deprevation Festival, a 2-day festival taking part on the 1st and 2nd of September at level 3 in Swindon. I won't say September again then. In Swindon, we've got two incredible headliners for you. Necronautical are headlining day 2 and headlining day 1 is the greatest tribute band name I've ever heard of in my life. Meshuggah tribute band, Milk Two Shuggahs. Fucking brilliant. We've spoken to quite a few festival organisers on this show. We've spoken to Adam, who organises the Bloodstock Festival. As we just mentioned previously, we've spoken to James, who organises the 2000 Trees Festival. Two incredibly successful festivals that are doing fantastic, but it all has to start somewhere. So we thought this week it'd be great to chat with Martin to learn about how you go about getting your first ever festival off the ground and the work and the determination you have to put into it. And this is a great look at what you do. And also we find out all about Martin's life and his career and the stuff he's managed to achieve, because he's done quite a fair bit.
Yes, he has. And also playing with Ryan McCombs, performing soil songs. So Jamie nailed this. I've got absolutely nothing to add, to be quite honest with you. I think this is a great conversation and we're looking forward to you all hearing this one. Jamie!
Yes, sir.
Don't suppose at all anywhere on your list that you've got any final words there at all?
There is a final word. I missed something off. It's only £10 a ticket. And you might be able to get something extra for those bands for £10 a ticket. You'll find out in this interview. And of course, absolutely. Thank you, Martin.
Yeah, thank you so much, Martin, for taking the time out of your busy schedule to sit and chat to us. It was absolutely wonderful. And we wish you all the success in the world with the Deprivation Festival. Ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, interviewing this week, it's Martin Camp with the Deprivation Festival.
Ladies and gentlemen, today we bring you a guest who, if you've seen our Bloodstock vlog, will look very familiar to you. This week's guest is a bass player who's been playing with metal icon and former guest Ryan McCombs, but he isn't here to talk about that today. No sirree. We've spoken to guests who promoted festivals in the past, but this week's guest is here to tell the story of promoting their first ever festival, the upcoming Deprevation Festival, the 1st and 2nd of September at level 3 in Swindon. Ladies and gents, put it together as we welcome you to the Chronicles of the Deprevation Festival with its organiser, Martin Camp.
How's it?
How
do? Thank you very much for joining us, sir.
No problem. It's good to be here.
I think the biggest question of all, mine, I think the one that we really need to, come hard hitting and swinging for the fences. How have the last few years been for you in regards to the pandemic and stuff, like from a personal level and from a work perspective? Everything all good? Everything okay?
Exhausting, that's for sure. Like day job wise, I work in the care industry, so there was no rest, no break or nothing. It was quite full on during that period. So We've not had much, or I have not had much chance to, come out of it and just chill. So yeah, it's been quite full on.
I can't imagine, obviously, being in a care home or being in the care industry, as it were, during that time. Was it quite? Is it as traumatic as they say it was, or?
Well, I don't really know because I was in domiciliary, so I was driving around and going into people's homes and stuff. So it was a bit more. It was different to how it was in care homes. So yeah, I mean, the roads were quiet, no traffic. That was nice. kind of enjoyed that.
Take those little wins where you can. I love it. So before we talk about the festival, we want to learn a bit more about yourself also. So Mr. Camp, take us back to the start for you. What did young Master Camp wish to be when he was growing up? Was it always music focused for yourself, or, I don't know, train driver?
Yeah, to be fair, dude, like it all started with the recorder. As it does for all of us. It's either, you start with the recorder and you either persist with that noise or you give up and get into a trade or something. So yeah, I suppose, I don't know, from quite a young age, I took every opportunity during my school time to just, if there was an instrument going or lessons going or something, I'd pick it up and just give it my best. And I learned trombone, guitar, recorder, saxophone, drums. It's just everything I could find. I was like, yeah, go for it, dude. I'll have a go at that. And then I'd have a few lessons. Hated being educated, and then I'd just go off and work it out myself. And it's put me in quite a good place, really, like musically, because I've learned to be quite multi-instrumental. What's the word?
Multi-instrumental?
Instrumentalist.
Yeah.
We'll take it.
I could play a lot of things.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, and then I sort of favored drums initially, but being loud and stuff, it's hard to really get into it when I was younger. So I ended up sort of settling for guitar, and sort of persisted with that for quite a while. And then jumping through the years, ended up starting bands. Met a guy called Craig, and we went on to start Gutlocker, who are still doing the rounds today. Eventually decided that the need and requirement and pressure that is put on a guitarist or a lead guitarist or something in a band was a bit too much for me, and I wanted to do it but not have so much responsibility on myself personally. So I picked up a bass. So we have it easy. So yeah, through that ended up meeting Ryan, bribed him into doing a thing together, and long story short, I'm here now. I play bass for him, and yeah, I've dabbled with like a various amount of things. I played with a band called Influence. They're like a fairly local band. They've got their vocalist, he's the original drummer of another band called Ectomorph, Hungarian band. So I was with them for a little while before meeting, well, not before meeting, but before starting what I do with Ryan. Yeah, dude. It's quite busy because I like when it comes to like music and bands and stuff like that. I like doing a bit of everything, So when it comes to like artsy stuff and creative stuff, so I've always done a lot of the artwork. I've always done a lot of trying to book the gigs and just all the ins and outs and details of it. I like getting dived into that. It's like the venue that I'm hosting the festival at. I do a ton of work for those guys. All their flyers and I'm there doing photography on the nights and I put little videos together. I record all the audio and just try and make as much as I can out of what I can do to try and benefit that venue. So yeah, on top of like my 40-hour work week, I'm doing like 30 hours of extra stuff for this venue, as well as trying to rehearse with Ryan and do all the bits I do with that. And yeah, busy lifestyle. Eh?
That's crazy. I love it though. Yeah. Like I love that sort of mentality and that sort of lifestyle. Like that's what I aim to do with this. I like to be able to do my day job as well. Then be like, oh, podcast, let's do more. Let's email more people. Let's interview more people. Let's do more shows, please.
Yeah.
But you know the recorder, right? Do you think someone just got really bored making it and that's what they ended up with? Because obviously bagpipes have weird recorders coming out of the top of the bag. So I wonder if somebody was like going in a direction and just went, no, that'll do. Fuck it. It sort of makes a sound, you know, and on anyone who could ever play on it is three blind fucking mice.
Some Scottish dude one day was like, he went to Sainsbury's and he forgot his bag, so he had to get a new bag. And then he went to the shop and brought like a ton of recorders. And he thought, oh, I'm going to start a business with this and sell all these recorders and stuff. And when he realized no one wanted them, he's like, oh, I'm just going to sellotape them to this Tesco's bag and suck some air into it and see what happens. And
one of the greatest instruments of all time was made. Yeah. And they are very close and dear to my heart.
I drank a fair bit. You know what they're like. Yeah.
So where did that love of music come from to make you want to do that for you? Was it a particular musician or band that got you inspired to start, or was it something completely different? Is it in the family or?
You know, I really don't know. My dad's not necessarily into music or anything, but he used to drive a lot of like Phil Collins and Luther Vandross. I mean, mainly Phil Collins, and he was constantly playing, and he'd make me sit and watch the drum solos and stuff like that. So I think his lack of knowledge about music, but passion about Phil Collins, it got me watching and observing the show rather than just listening to the music, and it encouraged my brain to examine music and individual aspects of music, and I think that sort of caught my interest a fair bit, really. And then you know, me growing up, we came into the sort of new metal era, and you had all these fucking weird bands doing the scenes who went on to be, you know, who they are today and stuff like that. It's like people like Slipknot, and the fact their anonymity and stuff at that point, that used to fascinate the hell out of me. Wes Borland, he used to fascinate the hell out of me. And I've always been interested in that stuff, so I think it just made me dive more into it, you know.
People with a bit of character.
Yeah, and there was a lot of it back then. So
it's just that was the world before social media as well. So it's not that you could just go, oh, who's that guy in Slipknot? Oh, his name's Corey Taylor. And like, you didn't know unless you read it in a magazine or something. It was just simple.
Yeah. Yeah. And, you know, it's weird, because like you got that period of time where I grew up with music. It was all that new metal period and stuff, and then one of the things I used to listen to was Soil, you know, and Drowning Pool, and so it makes life today a little bit surreal at times, you know.
Would you say those sort of bands influenced you then, like Slipknot, Limp Bizkit, Linkin Park, that sort of 2000s new metal era?
I mean, not. I don't know how many people would sort of make this comment, but I think Wes Borland was probably the reason I picked up a guitar in the first place. And again, I think that's because of his character and the anonymity of how he appeared himself on stage and in videos and stuff like that. You didn't know who he was, but he just played these really simple but punchy riffs. And I've always liked like the simple punchy stuff over the complicated stuff, you know. So yeah, it was Limp Bizkit, Where's Borland, same difference. That's what drove me to guitar and really pushed me into that metal world. Yeah.
You worked in radio quite a bit as well, am I right?
Yeah, I did. I was the other side of this for a little while. Yeah.
So why didn't you want to pursue that? What made you go down that road? Was it just something to dabble somewhere else in the music world as well, or was it just a case of I want to see where this goes, or why?
I enjoyed it, but I found that it was the wrong side of that world for me. I like the performing. I like being the musician. I love playing live music, and that's where the ultimate goal is gigs. So as much as I enjoyed it, and I think it gave me quite a few useful tools, like working in media and doing press and stuff, especially when it came to meeting significantly important musicians and bands and stuff like that. I meet them and I yeah, great. Hi. I have less of a fanboyism, so I'm able to discuss things with them on a bit more of a professional level, so it benefited me in some ways,
Yeah, absolutely. I love it. I mean, I'm actually kind of looking myself at the moment to get into that sort of realm in that sort of industry to benefit this, because obviously we love doing this, and we love to like we met you at Bloodstock last year. Hell of a festival, by the way. That 35 heat dome every day was not pleasant for us gingers, but still, it was. I don't think it was pleasant for anybody, actually, to be fair. But there we are.
No.
It was great, but
that was hard.
It was. I mean, if you didn't have shelter, you were fucked.
Even the shelter was hot. The shelter made no difference.
It was crazy, but I'll take it over rain any day. I'll take it over muddy like swamps any day of the week. We've mentioned him a few times, so we'll bring him up ever so quickly. Ryan McCombs, obviously the lead singer of Soil. How did you actually meet? How did this actually start? Where did this all happen? Give us the lowdown.
So he lives fairly local to me, and a buddy of mine, he knew him and introduced me to him, and our similar sort of visions of various things we wanted to do sort of collided fairly well together. We sort of got on quite well, and just started talking about music and random bits, and drinking together quite often, and then the subject came up about reforming the acoustic thing, because he had done it a little bit before, but it wasn't working out with the guys that he currently had at that time. So we just started discussing it. I sort of took on the responsibility, because it was the stress of finding new people and reworking the songs, relearning the songs and stuff like that. So I sort of hit him with the you do nothing. I will find people, I'll make it happen, don't worry. And then we did. Found Freddie and Ellie, and we sat here in my little studio, completely rewrote all of the songs that we thought we'd want to do in the set, for both Drowning Pool and Soil. Put a whole ton of effort into making them familiar but just new, so you come and see this show, you're seeing the songs that but they're so different. I mean, you've seen it, it's so different, and he liked it, so we went with it.
That must have been so surreal. Like, you turn around to you and be like, so these songs I've been performing for years in big bands on stage. Could you do me a favor? Can you go sit in your studio flat and rewrite them all for me, please? But in an acoustic version.
Yeah.
Cheers. It's
Yeah.
so weird.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially when you're sat here, like, trying to rewrite Halo,
Yeah.
and then you're upstage performing that song, which is quite cool. It feels cool. Cool but different.
And it's great. And obviously, I was very fortunate to go see the show. You very kindly set that up for me to go and interview Ryan for the show, which meant the absolute world. But what you're saying, it sounds great. And what I love the most about it is watching you guys, is the camaraderie between you all. Like, all of you busting each other's balls for the entire set. It's great to see. It is absolutely wonderful to see. And it's great when you see that in a band, like just seeing them having fun, enjoying what they're doing. So fair play.
You'd see us rehearse, eh? we it could be relentless.
Were there any songs that you really wanted to do but just couldn't make work?
We dabbled with a few. It either turned out that the way that he needed to sing them just didn't work, or the way that we were playing it made it too boring. So take Breaking Me Down, for example. We could have just gone out and played that as it is, but on acoustic instruments, and then that defied the whole point of the show, really. We wanted to change that and make it a bit different. So me and Freddie were like, let's make it smooth jazz. So we had this really chilled out, crawling bass line, and it sounds cool, but it made the song like 5 times longer than it is, and it was long and repetitive, and it was just like, nah, we just gave up on it in the end and sort of persisted with the ones that we've put in there, just put another cover in. So
have you guys thought about recording it and actually releasing them as actual releases?
We've talked, yeah. We've got like demos and stuff, but there's nothing sort of set in stone at the moment with that. It's more about doing shows, and obviously he's rejoined Drowning Pool officially, so his schedule's a little bit busier than it was last year. So we're trying to squeeze in the gaps really at the moment.
I was going to say, is there plans to do more stuff? Because obviously he's got Soil, Drowning Pool, and the man don't stop by all accounts.
Yeah, so we're definitely going to be doing more shows. It's just a schedule thing, working out, where we're at and what's going on. So Drowning Pool are busy, and unexpectedly they've just got Ryan back in the band. They're going to want to be hitting hard, So yeah, it's fine.
You mentioned about busting each other's balls and whatnot whilst playing shows. Like, have you got any good tour stories? Anything happen whilst you were traveling the old country?
You'd probably kill me if I told you, to be honest. We got like a quote book. We got
amazing.
We got a quote book that our drummer Ellie keeps, and every time we say something stupid, that goes in there. And then whenever we're all drinking together, it seems to come out, and she'll start just quoting it. But some stuff goes down, but we got to acknowledge that Ryan's old as shit and we're still quite young. So anything that does go down, he normally suffers more than we do because he's fragile. So I think if you want to sort of use your imagination a little bit, I mean, the back of his head didn't do too good for the wing mirror in the van.
God.
But that's all right. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I just got that.
Yeah. The quote in Ellie's little book following that was, "Why did you hurt myself?" If that broadens your imagination a little bit, we have fun.
It's cool, man. Like you say, obviously it's a proper surreal thing, so it must just generally must be fucking amazing that you're getting to do this and play old soul tracks and stuff, or change them up and whatnot, and tour with the man. So it's cool. It's really cool. But
Yeah.
shall we
There's
actually
stuff on YouTube?
Oh,
Yes.
Not that
okay.
it does it justice.
I should go and find that. Is it where can people find that? Where can people check that out?
I don't know, just wherever random people have filmed at shows. You might have terrible names singing along to some of them or whatever, but like I said, it's phone footage. You don't do it justice. That gives you an idea of what we're doing.
That's awesome, man. But like I say, we should get to the topic at hand. The reason why we're all here today is obviously to talk about the Deprevation Festival, which you are putting on. That you are the founder of, shall we say, that you are creating for the people of for Swindon and obviously surrounding and all around and whatnot. What actually made you sit there and go, do you know what I really want to do? I want to start my own festival.
I didn't officially sit there and think that. There was two factors at play. My buddy Dan took over the level 3. It's now called the Underground, or just Underground. That's gone over a complete rebrand recently. So with him recently taking over that place, and having the sort of opportunity to venture into like the darker music and stuff, I wanted to sort of experiment with the local scene and see what would hit and what would do well. And I, being a bit more knowledgeable on that sort of music, I sort of took the opportunity and asked if I could have a date there, and he said yeah. So I initially thought that Necronautical, they were on my hit list. I missed them when they played Bloodstock, and I missed them on the tour they did after Bloodstock.
Oh,
and I was like, well, I'm going to try and book them because I want to see them. So, and the plan was book Necro, get a couple of other bands, and just put on a show. I got a couple more bands and a couple more bands, and I'm like, I'm doing a thing. And yeah, so it ended up being a full day thing. I thought I'd brand it as a festival and see where my luck shot me. I aimed. I did quite well because I sort of created this flyer, and I put on there the lineup I wanted, and I got every single band that I preempted on there before I contacted them. So I was pretty proud of myself.
Oh, dude, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Like it.
So the entire lineup, and the entire lineup except Necro came back to me the day I asked, and the day I came up with this idea, I had that whole lineup there minus Necro. I was just waiting for the agent stuff. They're slow sometimes. So yeah, it came together really fast. So yeah, I thought I'd like use the opportunity because the venue that I'm using, they've got, it's a 400 capacity venue. We've got a pub next door that's 100 capacity. The opportunity for like a little indoor, low level festival thing's quite broad there because you can over the years grow it and use the pub and the venue and have 2 stages and expand it in that sense. With the hope of maybe outgrowing it and going somewhere else or going outdoors or whatever in the future. But obviously this is first year, so I focus on that for now. And because of the sort of lineup I got, and I was like, the whole thing was built around me having a good time watching Necro ultimately. So I was like, I'm going to bang a small price on it, make it affordable for anyone because I want people. I don't care about profit. I just, as long as I make enough to pay the bands and stuff, I'm happy, Yeah, it's all about me enjoying Necro and Chrysler and 10 Plagues and everyone that's playing, because some of them are bands that I've played with before, or they're bands that I know or friends with. And the dude from 10 Plagues, he's the one that put me in contact with a couple of the guys like Chrysler and Necro, and he's been quite a huge help. So overall, it's going to be cool. And I was like, I'm going to have another day. So I had another day. I didn't tell the landlord or nothing. I just went along and announced it. He was like, "Wait a minute." I was like, "Yeah, right." And then I posted it. So I got a little bit of a telling off over that, but at the same time, he was quite happy that I'd done it because it's a cool event and everyone's sort of looking forward to it, really. So I ended up getting Milk and Two Shuggahs, a Meshuggah tribute for the Friday, and Moon Reaper and Corpsing. Yeah. The overall lineup is I'm really looking forward to it. Really solid.
So how long ago did you start planning and putting this together? Obviously, the event is happening in September. How long ago did it all start?
End of March. No, start of April.
Start of April. So it's come together quick. Fair play.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, got it together really quick and announced it really quick and got everything organised in my little Word documents and stuff. And yeah, I've worked hard on it. Promoting the hell out of it, spamming everything, doing what you do because I want people there. So,
I love that
it
it came together. Yeah, oh, absolutely, man. Absolutely. And I love that it came together just the basis that you went, right, what I'll do is I'll lie and say that all these people are coming and then go for those people that are coming. And then it all just paid off beautifully. Like, I love that it's like, fuck it, here's the flyer. Nothing's actually happened, but I won't tell them, that'd be fine. Yeah, here's the flyer, guys. Yeah, this is happening. Yeah. Right, I better get those fucking bands that I actually put on that flyer. So let's go.
It's like Wayne's World too. It's Wayne stock.
Yeah. So yeah, it's cool. I'm really looking forward to it. Like, yeah,
it's awesome.
So
I know this is the first Deprevation Festival, but is this the first time you put on a show in general?
No, I've supported like other people putting on shows and stuff before in various places all over the place, and then like there's times with like bands I've been with where we've been booked to play a show and the promoter's done nothing, so then I've ended up having to get all the support bands and put the show together basically. And yeah, I've dabbled.
I love them promoters.
They can be good.
So you've got
Sometimes.
two headliners, as you just said, Necronautical, and as you said, one of the greatest tribute band names I have ever heard in my entire life, being Milk and Two Shuggahs. That is just grade A tribute band name. I was, brilliant.
I saw those guys pop up and it's Meshuggah. So I'm like, how is a tribute band gonna pull that off? Can you really do Meshuggah? And I've only seen like YouTube clips and stuff of them, but from what I'm hearing and then what people have told me who have seen them and stuff, they're meant to be really good. So,
but what made you pick these two guys as your headliners? I know you wanted to see Necronautical, that was a big part of it. But what made you decide, no, they're my headliner?
I like them. I really like the melodic sort of dark stuff, I wanted to try and put something together that had that sort of atmosphere to it as a whole, because we don't have that much of that down south. Obviously we've got like Arctangent that's fairly new, and that sort of targets that sort of audience, but where my brain's sort of going is more like the damnation of the South. It's but obviously on a much smaller scale. That's where the sort of influence of the sort of lineup I'd go for is really. There doesn't seem to be much for that down here. Obviously Bristol's got a great sort of black metal, darker metal sort of scene going on. But outside of that, it's just not there. And I know there's an audience for it, and I want to pull them out and get them somewhere. I want to see them because it's a great crowd. All the other shows that we've had at Underground, like the best groups we've had in are like when we've had the heavier stuff. I mean, we had Embodiment, and those the guys that attended were just really went for it, and yeah, I just love that atmosphere in that. Like, so I just want to pull more of them out. I want to get enough of them out to pack the venue and have a good day. 2 days, day and a half, day and a bit, day and a gig.
Is that why you chose the extreme black metal sort of, not like any new metal or any like pop punk or anything? You just literally want to bring, like you say, bring damnation down south and start your own thing down here, because obviously there's nothing for it other than, like you say, Arc Tangent. But is that why you chose the extreme black metal front?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, and because that's my preference. It's where I sort of fall to, really. I like the brutality.
Fair.
So, yeah.
No.
So
And they're great. I mean, Necro, they're not a big band or nothing. But they've got such a great sound to them. They're I don't know. The only way I can describe them is like a British Flesh God Apocalypse. Especially with their last album. They're just a great band. Yeah.
No, fair, absolutely. Where did the Deprivation? Why'd you call it Deprevation Fest? And where did the name come from?
Because all the dark festivals seem to end with shun, and I wanted a word that felt brutal, and I was like, I was discussing it with someone, and I was trying to work out the different meanings between deprivation, and trying to sort of, is one of them this and one of them that, and I think we've probably spelled it wrong anyway, and it's worked, so I kind of like it.
No, fair.
Deprivation.
It's a way of being. The South is deprived of that scene. There you go.
Yeah, that's why I did it.
So you can have that one. It's fine.
I'll add it as a little tag underneath when I'm trying to sell tickets, because the South is deprived.
That's all it needs. Nothing else. Just the South is deprived. That's it.
Of this scene afterwards.
So obviously we've just spoke about the two headliners, but tell us about some of the other bands that are playing. What other bands are playing there that you're really excited for people to see?
Chrysler, those guys are solid, really solid. 10 Plagues, they're like, those two are the main support. They got a bit of a longer slot than everyone else. Moon Reaper on Friday, I'm looking forward to it, because I'm seeing them pop up a lot. I think they're Bristol band, but I'm really liking them at the moment. Who else is on it? Eviscerize, they're cool dudes. I've played with them before, and they hit hard. They're really good. Who else have I got on there?
Edenfall, I believe.
Should have like
there.
Who?
Edenfall,
yeah, they're great guys. I can't think. They're like the main ones, I'd say. Hang on, I've got to load up a picture here so I can have a look at it, because I don't remember. Ooh. Boom. Oh, so many clicks. Pedician. Those guys are really good. Kind of listen to the whole lineup here.
That's all right. Let people know who's
Epimetheus. They're a mate of mine. They're quite doomy, and I didn't really want to go for the whole day to just be boom 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 hitting hard. I wanted to sort of try and work in a little bit, build up to the heavier stuff and just make it a little bit diverse, but not just too much. Even for me, too much like death metal and black metal all in a row is a bit much, So yeah, Prometheus, Mordhau, they're from Derby, I think, Nottingham, Derby area. So they're cool guys. Edenfall, you've mentioned Viserais, Uncrowned. Uncrowned, one of the guys who he's like one of the bosses for the company I work for. He told me to check out one of the guys who works in another office because he's in a band. So I looked him up, but then it turns out that it's 10 Plagues' drummer, who I'd already been discussing with. I think we both sort of said at the same time. My boss messaged me saying, check out this band. And then it was like literally at the exact moment, I got a message from someone saying, check out this band. And they were both two of the same. It's weird.
Fate they had to play. Okay.
Yeah. So, and then it makes sense. It makes it's an easy swap over, isn't it? Having them and then having 10 Plagues straight after. They ain't got to faff around with the drum kit and nothing. It's, you know, you can just stay sat there and have a cup of tea or something.
He's gonna be knackered though, bless him.
Yeah. Oh, he'll be all right. So, I mean, the biggest ball ache could probably be Chris because they got a left-handed drummer, aren't they? So we've got to sort of swap out, swap in, swap out, swap in with the drum kit. Yeah. But I didn't want that to get in the way. I was like, well, I'll get a team together, even if we got like a couple of minions or something, just to really quickly, you know, a bunch of Oompa come on stage, pick it up and waddle off, you know. I was determined to make it work. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. So yeah, Declaration of Rebellion is going to be their first gig. They're local to Swindon. I thought I'd give them a chance and get them in as well. So yeah, as a whole, it should be good. And then we got Total Rock doing an after party on the Saturday as well. So that's a DJ Forsex coming. He's the old scratch DJ for a band called Zero Cypher, who I know more. So.
Awesome. Peace, man. That is so good. Sorry, Jay, to completely talk over you there. I do apologize. It sounds like it's going to be a great day in a gig. I'm excited. I'm excited for you. To be honest with you, I'm really excited for you, just for just how it's going to go. There's obviously going to be teething issues, yada yada yada. But how come it went from being an all-dayer to a two-dayer? Was it because you'd asked quite a few people, you're like, oh fuck, I haven't got enough time to put everybody in, or why is it now Friday night as well?
I can be quite impulsive. So part of my thinking was I'm X amount of months out from the festival. I've currently sold not many tickets. I'm panicking. And I was like, I know what, I'm going to increase my budget, add another day, but keep the price of the tickets exactly the same for both. Because it makes it more attractive. More people might want to come. I mean, it's all coming out of my own bloody pocket at the end of the day. I'm not bothered about making a profit. It's like I said earlier, I don't, it would be nice to make me money back. But at the end of the day, this the first year. It's about getting it known, getting it seen, having it happen. And if I have low expectations, I might be pleasantly surprised, So, yeah. So it went up a little bit. We're doing okay at the moment. But ultimately, it's not, ticket sales and stuff. It's not something I'm that fussed about. I just want people, not tickets,
That's fair. I like that though, because you're saying, I want to bring this style of music down to South. We have nothing like this in a minute. So for this first year, if it's at least people through the door, then if you decide to do it again, they'll be like, that was a fucking great time last year or whatever. I'm definitely going again. So
exactly.
Fair play.
And if it's a tenner. It's a tenner for that whole thing. It's nothing. It's 2 pints. It's 1 pint in London. And that's how I'm sort of thinking about it. So it's one of those things where I'm just like, just get a ticket and come along here. You'll have a great time. It's going to be fun. And the more tickets that go out, the more like weird stuff I can get. We're going to have cake. We've got someone, one of the girls that works behind the bar. She's making like an old school cake, right? But she's going to do it black and make it really gothic and dark and stuff, so people can have cake. How many like brutal festivals can you go to and have cake?
Why isn't that on the flyer? Come on, that would sell tickets.
Free
like,
cake.
no, free cake.
You know, and then if I get to a certain point, then I can just buy other random shit. You know, maybe I'll buy some kazoos or something, recorders.
Get that free blind mice out. Why not?
yeah. You know, I just want it to be cool, and it'd be nice if I made my money back. Then at least I know where I stand for next year. You know, I can chuck in how much I spent this year, spend a year saving up, and then, you know, double the budget of next year and make it a bit better, or get like a bigger headliner. You know, that's how I kind of want to work it, but we'll see.
So is that the
I'm
plan?
confident.
And is it
think.
to take it, you know, to see how it goes, and then do it on a year by year thing, and grow it and make it bigger and that sort of thing?
Yeah, I'd like to. You know, if the way that I'm sort of thinking about it, and I'm working off of my own pocket, and by doing that, I'm able to work out how much I can save. You know, so that is my budget. So it's like, say for like next year, I make back what I'm paying out for this event this year. I then get that back, spend a year saving. You know, I can roughly sort of maybe double, maybe more my budget for the next year. It's all about making sure I got the money before it happens, rather than relying on, you know, door sales or ticket sales paying out. I just want to kind of work to the money that's available, rather than money that's not real and hoping that I sell enough to make it back. You know, it's more of it would be nice to make it back, because then I can invest it into next year. I'm not bothered about making money. I just want a cool event, you know.
That's awesome. I really admire that, and it's great. You know, you want to keep this going, because he's like, we spoke to Adam Gregory from Bloodstock, and you know, that wasn't a success for the first few years. You just got to keep going and going and going, and eventually gets that name out there. And you know, it's great. And I love the fact you're starting this because you want to see these bands play in your area, and I think it's fucking great. It really is.
Yeah.
But I suppose we've only a couple of months left to go, though. How are you feeling now? Are you excited? Are you nervous? You're just like, come on, is it here yet?
My chest is doing me, you know. It's, I'm stressing, but I think it's because I'm impulsive, and the point I'm at now, it's out of my control. You know, it's not a big venue. I don't have a lot of money, so I can't chuck loads of money at marketing and all this sort of stuff. You know, I'm quite restricted, so I'm doing what I can with that, and trying to just at least get it seen, you know. So with the build up to it happening, it's awkward, and you know, with how shows are going, especially sort of shows on a smaller scale, if you look at, you know, you've got O2s and bigger venues and bigger bands and stuff like that, people don't necessarily wait and buy a ticket on the door. But you look at a venue in Swindon or a venue in whatever town, the people that live in that area, they know how big that venue is, and they know how many people are roughly going to end up coming to this gig. So they know that they don't need to buy a ticket in advance. You know, they can just rock up, and which for promoters is, you know, quite anxiety inducing, because you need to know if you're going to make your money back. So that's probably the more like anxiety side to it, really. I'd like to know that there's people coming. That's, again, it goes back to me just wanting to have a good time with a lot of people. It's not making the money. It's knowing that there's going to be people there, because then I know that I'm going to have a good time. You know, it's a little bit selfish, but in a good way. You know.
No, I get it completely. Completely get it.
Yeah.
At least you've got Facebook events where people can put themselves as attending. So you got a little bit of a barrier comfort thing there.
Yeah, that's lower than the ticket sales though, which is odd.
Okay, well, I tried.
Yeah, no, it's doing all right. It's doing all right. I mean, there's there's what's sold. There's the people that I know are going to be coming, and then obviously it's quite a few bands as well. I'm just looking at the numbers, like you look at the bands, how many people to each band as well, and you add them to what you've already sold. I know that there's going to be roughly X amount of people in that venue. They're going to be forced into that room to watch other bands and stuff like that as well, So, in that sense, it should be fun.
So before we start,
if you don't come, then, no cake for you.
Exactly that. I just felt I was going to say, man, before we start wrapping it up, I want to go bouncing off what you're just saying there. If there is people out there that are on the fence about buying a ticket, whether they want to go or not, why should they buy a ticket? Sell them. Take this minute, just like sell people and don't just say cake. There's got to be more to it than cake.
But recorders? It's new, it's fresh, and it's a tenner. And it's 13 bands. 13 bands, £10. If I was not getting in for free, I'd pay it. I don't fucking know. You got this whole community of alternative people, and they seem to be so disassociated from each other these days, right? And in each little bubble of each different town, there seems to be like this group of like 3 alternative people who know each other, but they're completely oblivious to the rest of them that are around them. And I was talking to someone earlier about it, and when I was like 18, 19 years old or whatever, every single Friday, every single Saturday, you would just go to your local venue and just watch whatever the hell was on, because it was a gig and it was like £5 entry or something. It was cheap. And that don't seem to happen anymore. So this is like a great opportunity for people to just turn up and watch some bands they've never heard of and have a good time and discover some bands that could end up being their favorite bands. Because as they all say, like, at the end of the day, they've all been there. That band that you're checking out on Spotify and YouTube, instead of getting off your ass and going to a gig, they played one of these little venues once. So it's a tenner.
No, exactly. You sound like a proper...
And there'll be cake.
Yeah.
There'll be cake.
You sound like a proper Cockney market seller then. 13 bands, £10. 13 bands, mate, £10.
£13 your gig. £13 your gig. Free cake.
But if obviously Deprivation does do well and you're happy with it and everything else, and year on year it gets bigger and bigger and whatever, would you do any others, or would you then incorporate more genre in there? Would you put some new metal in there, put some metalcore in there, some pop, or would you stick to just the dark, black death metal side of things?
No, I'd open it up. I'd definitely open it up. It's based off of what I'm interested in, and I've got quite a broad spectrum of interest when it comes to music. My preference is the darker stuff, but generally, if you're into your darker stuff, you normally it's a gateway drug. People have listened to other stuff before they got to that darker stuff, so I'm sure they like it. And as I have, I started out with all the new metal. I still like my new metal and that, but I'll if it's good, I like it, and I'd kind of hope that the people that came had the same sort of attitude. So yeah, I'd try and keep it, dark, but at the same time, what's the harm?
Absolutely. Before we get out of here and let you go, apart from Deprevation Festival, what else are you working on at the minute you can talk about? Are there any other musical endeavours, or does this have your complete focus at the moment?
No, I mean, I'm tied up with the venue, because obviously I do a lot for those guys. So most weekends I'm there doing stuff for whatever shows are going on, whether it's repping for bands or doing photography and other bits. So yeah, I'm generally tied up with that. There's, constantly whenever Ryan's in the country, well, even if he's not, we're rehearsing, and maybe writing stuff. So yeah, I'm quite a busy guy, really. I would like to branch out and do something a bit more full time on the music front, but my paid employment, paying bills sort of unfortunately is a priority.
I feel you there.
As much as I'd like it not to be,
Oh yeah.
I'd like my day job to go away somewhere so that I can do the things I like doing, but also have time for the family. And that at the moment, they take a bit of a sideline. So
I think we definitely feel you on that one, my friend. I definitely feel you on that one. Right, Mr. Stevens, do you have any more questions for our wonderful guest?
I don't. I've emptied my sack, as it were. But well, yeah,
that's nice.
Yeah, blew my load a little bit too early. Sorry about that. But no, like all I want to say to Martin is like I genuinely wish you all the best with it. I'm sorry we can't be there. It's a shame that we can't make it down. But yeah, I know. Don't worry. Next year, all right. We know it's a thing now. So next year. And we hope that everybody.
I'll save you a bit for next year. I hope your teeth are good.
Because that might be a bit stale, but it's fine.
No, it's a brick. It's actually a brick. What the fuck?
Get some high quality Tupperware. We might be all right.
Yeah.
But no, in all seriousness, though, I genuinely wish you all the best of it. I hope it's a raging success. I'm sure it will be. And I just think fair play to you to have the fucking balls to be like, no, this is the music I'm passionate about. This is what I love doing, and I want to see these bands. So fuck you all. I've got myself a weekend sorted. Well, a day and a half, a day and a gig.
Oh yeah, it's kind of more like half a day and then a gig, isn't it?
Love it, day and a gig.
3/4 of a day, maybe. It's a full 2 days for me because I'll have to do stuff. But
I don't know.
Just call it 2 days. It's 2 days for a tenner.
Yeah, exactly.
It sounds better on paper. 2 days. 2 days for a tenner. 13 pounds.
13 bands, 2 days. It's tenner, mate. What's wrong with you?
See that you pay on door, but I wouldn't want to pay more.
That's a fair point.
So,
fair point.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
Mark, before we let you go, any plugs, social medias, websites, anything where you want people to go find out about you and whatever you're doing and the festival, of course.
Yeah, so you've got Underground Swindon's Facebook page. Search Underground Swindon, I'm sure it'll come up. It's like a underground train logo. Deprevation Festival on again Facebook, Instagram. Myself, Martin Camp Bass on Instagram. I think that's probably about it. I try not to use too much because I can't be bothered.
No, fair. Who can? Who can? There's too much social media these days.
Yeah, it's just Facebook and Instagram will do. Right.
Twitter can't be bothered.
But I'm active on obviously the Underground's Facebook and the Deprevation Facebook. I post a little bit, but there's only so much I can post really at this point because I don't have a great deal of content. But yeah, and then my own personal Instagram where you can see all the stuff I do with Ryan and whatever else I do. I do stuff.
Stuff and things.
Stuff and things.
Mike, thank you so much for taking time out to join us. I'm just going to copy what Tom said there. I wish you all the best of it, mate. It's absolutely phenomenal. And it's great to see people being like, do you know what? Why not? I want to do this. Why not? Let's just do it. Fuck it. It's going to make people happy.
I got a good team around me. Good team of people helping out. So
it's great.
Should be good.
My friend, this has been absolutely wonderful. thank you so much for taking the time out of your insanely busy schedule to sit and chat to us this evening. And again, like I said, I wish you all the best of the festival, man. I'm sure you're going to smash it out of that proverbial park.
Thank you. Yeah. We'll have to do it again sometime and do Sophie stuff.
Yes. Are you going to do a Bloodspot this year?
Nah, I'm afraid not. No. Childcare. My parents have refused to have my children this year, so if the wife don't go, I don't go.
Arctangent?
Ooh.
I'm thinking about going for Devin.
And we'll catch up soon, my friend.
Kushli, take care.
You too, fella. See you later, my friend. Take care.
Ta-da. Bye.
Bye-bye.
The answer, ladies and gentlemen, was cake. £10 for 2 days of music and cake. What a great conversation. It was amazing to learn all about what goes into building your own festival and learning all about his amazing career with Ryan McCombs. Thank you so much, Martin. Really enjoyed this one.
Yeah, this is great. Thank you for reaching out and wanting to chat to us. It was wonderful to have you on. Let me start that again. We hope that you all enjoyed listening to it as we did recording it.